it mentions, and then it talks about the 5th, 6th, and 7th as being the 3 last woes, and they are actually time periods. And the 5th time period, it tells you that the 5th time period started with the First Gulf War.
Right.
And the next phase would then be involving the 4 angels that abound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels that abound in the great river Euphrates is actually the 4 countries that the river Euphrates runs through.
Okay.
And the river Euphrates, well, your audience probably don't know, but some of them may. The river Euphrates starts in Turkey, and then it runs through southern Turkey, it runs through Syria,
right,
and then it runs through Iraq, and then it becomes the Shatt al-Arab waterway, which is the border between Iraq and Iran. So you have Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and Iran, which are the 4 angels that abound in the great river Euphrates. And it says that they will be let loose to draw the world into Armageddon. And that's where we're headed.
Okay.
They're talking now about wanting to attack it. Well, have been for some time, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah.
Talking about wanting to attack Iran. They've already attacked Iraq. Turkey has started changing sides because it's been a member of NATO. It still is a member of NATO. It's been a member of NATO for a considerable period of time, but they're now starting to get more friendly with their Arab neighbors.
Right. Okay.
And so anyway, the 6th woe, the 6th time period, the 6th angel sounding in the Bible, in the Revelations, it talks about the 7 angels with the 7 trumpets. And when they blow their trumpet, that's the beginning of the new time period.
Right.
And it's like, for instance, with a boxing match where you have the bell between rounds. Okay. And so it's a sound, they blow the trumpet and the next round starts, if you like, in the Bible.
Okay. And just to...
and then it says that those the waters of the river Euphrates will dry up, that the way of the kings of the east will be prepared. Well, it doesn't mean that the actual H2O water in the river Euphrates will dry up. It means that the power of those nations will dry up. In other words, they will be defeated.
Right.
But that will make way for the kings of the east, which is the Russia and China, the Eastern Bloc. But in Ezekiel, in the Bible, in the Old Testament, it tells you about all the nations that are going to be involved in the battle. And it mentions Libya and Persia, which is Iran, and the Russians and the Chinese. So, yeah, that's where it's heading.
Okay. Now,
it's very difficult to explain that in
a short interview.
Yeah.
I mean, just to touch on the religious aspect. I mean, you know, the BBC tried to criticise you because of your religious beliefs. You know, what would you? Because you know, you couldn't. Everything that you've just said to me there, with regards to those prophecies, that wouldn't be accepted in a court of law. So people can then use that to criticise you and say, well, how can you say that? It's just an ancient book, basically. How would you answer the way that the BBC criticised you in their hit piece with regards to your religious beliefs? What would you say to them?
They're not religious beliefs. Well, I'm not telling you what. As far as the religious side of it, you know, obviously I can't be 100% certain about what we talked about previously about 7/7. You know, I believe that what I have done is correct.
Yeah.
And what I said in the film is correct. But when it comes to the religious aspect, I don't believe. I know.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And people say, well, you know, what do you mean? You know, obviously you believe. I say no. To use the word believe, there has to be an element of doubt. And I have none. Okay,
Muad'Dib. Well, what about just a final message with regards, you know, spreading the word and your film in general. Is there anything that you want to say to people with regards
Yeah.
to...
Yes, I want them to please, if they can, make copies for everybody and make sure that everybody watches the film, because it's the only chance we've got of preventing what is going to happen. These people are not going to stop doing these false flag terrorist events unless the people actually stop them. And the people have to know what's going off in order to be able to stop them. The only chance we've got of stopping them is when these people know that everybody knows that it's them doing it.
Okay, well, we'll do everything we can to help. I've already got 77 on my website, and we'll try and get it on the TV. And again, we'll try and contact some of the victims' families, and hopefully do a survey, like I said, and try and get some of them on camera.
That'd be really, really good, yeah.
Okay.
You were going to ask me about the name Muad'Dib, I think, at one point.
Yes, yeah, I mean, this is another thing that the BBC used to criticise you, that you use the name Muad'Dib. So can you just tell us about that?
Well,
about
the name Muad'Dib is Arabic, and it means the teacher of righteousness, or the educator, and the one deserving respect.
Right.
And it's from a film called Dune that was released in 1984. There was a character in it called Muad'Dib, and he led the people that were called the Fremen, which if you put another E in it, it's the free men.
Okay.
Against the evil empire, and destroyed it using the weirding way, which is again quoting from the Bible in the book of Isaiah.
Okay.
The weirding way really is explaining to people the truth, and it sounds weird to people. If you tell people that, the governments and people are doing these false flags, then it sounds weird to them. They don't want to, they don't want to believe it, and I wouldn't want to believe it either. Who would?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I used the name, and also from the fact that they have been blaming the Muslims. To use the name Muad'Dib, which is recognized by the Muslims, by the Arabs,
right.
would make them more willing to accept it than if I was to use an English name.
Right, okay, that makes sense. I haven't seen that film, but I will watch it. I'll get a hold of a copy.
There's an analysis of the film relating it to Bible prophecy. On a website. I can give you the link, and you could probably study that before you watch the film.
Right, sure.
The link is http:// JAHTRUTH.net /Dune DUNE.htm.
HTM. Okay then, we'll take a look at that.
All right.
Okay then, Muad'Dib, I'd just like to thank you, for your bravery and your courage, and I'd just like to wish you well with regards to, the extradition, and we hope that you don't get extradited, and we will try and do everything we can to support you over here in England, because your hands are tied by your bail conditions. You can't really do anything to spread the word, but we will try and do that for you, and just like to thank you for taking all of the time for this interview to talk to us.
Thank you very much, Richard. I really appreciate that. And if in the future, after you've talked to some of these people, if you want to, provided I haven't been extradited or I'm not in prison or anything, and you're not in England or Wales, I'm quite willing to do this again with you.
Right, okay then. Well, maybe that'll be a good idea, and then we can progress and see if things are any better than they are now. But we'll keep fighting for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay then,
I appreciate that.
Okay, all right then. Good afternoon then. Okay.
Good afternoon. God
Bye-bye.
bless you.
And you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. As I said, we are now just going to prove to the audience that we are in fact in Scotland by stepping outside and going to have a look at the signpost. This way. Abertshall Churchyard in Fife. Kirkcaldy.